And it says we are live. So we'll see. But
we'll make them prove it first.
That's right. Okay. Welcome, Outposters. This is Outpost Frequencies. With me, as always, is my comorbidity Dom.
Greetings and salutations, coming to you live from the COVID bunker.
That's right. I wish I could take credit for that joke. I stole that from Bill Whittle, but it was too good to not take.
Take it when you get it. Apologize later.
So, those of you, if you are first time here, or if you haven't been, please go to www.lastmovieoutpost.com. We have the greatest news. We have we're up to date on reviews, news, streaming, movies. We've got a lot of interesting Hollywood history on there, and we don't have any of that woke nonsense. So if you're looking for something different, come on over. I think you're going to love us.
It's a very easy site to navigate to.
That's right.
Wonderful characters populate the many forums. It is a lively place of Greco-Roman discussion on the very soliloquy of life.
You're making us sound way too classy, actually.
Part of it I stole from Mystery Science Theater.
Okay, so if you want to contact us, it's contact us at lastmovieoutpost.com. Later on, we will be getting into our most boring movies. And what I'm looking for is movies that you have fallen asleep in. Like, not that you were really tired, it's a great movie, but you just shouldn't have gone to the movies that day. I'm talking about you were psyched up or you were ready to go see it or at least give it a chance, and it was so bad that you fell asleep. Okay? You can't
I have a Sean Connery movie on that list.
Ooh, that's harsh. I don't have many, but I've got a couple. So we'll get to that later. But first, I want to talk about the elephant in the room, the one with no trunk. Elliot Page, known to his friends, he's known to his friends as Manly McChesthair.
Elliot.
Okay, so here's my
Go ahead.
Here's my issue with this. Now, first of all, I do not want anybody to think that I'm some sort of anti-trans guy. I work with a transgendered woman, which is the nicest person in the world, and I'm a big fan of Blair White. Are you familiar with Blair White? Blair White has a YouTube channel, and Blair White is mostly a conservative trans woman. And if I didn't know she was trans, I wouldn't. Because she did it that well that you wouldn't know that she was originally a man. And she has no patience for a lot of this stuff. Because, well, one, Blair White and a lot of these put in the effort. A conservative trans person will put in the effort. You know?
Yes.
They don't just put on a hat and tuck in their hair and say, I'm a man now. They don't go and throw a purse on and then go accost game store employees screaming in the deepest voice possible, it's ma'am. It's ma'am.
Oh, the memes were great, though.
I mean, are you really trans, or is it just another excuse to exercise some power trip fantasies?
Or are you just desperate for attention?
And that's where I'll put Elliot in. Because, when she was Ellen, she came out, and it was a big to-do when she was lesbian. And now she's coming out, to a big to-do that she's trans. Whenever she needs a little publicity, she comes out, and IMDb and Netflix and all the other websites are just bending over and kissing his ass to change his pronouns and everything else. And let me ask you, Scarlett Johansson had to drop out of a movie that she was going to play a trans man, or trans man. Yeah. But she's not trans. And she got hounded, and she finally had to drop out of the movie. So Elliot's going to continue to play a straight woman on the Umbrella Academy. So what is the cost that she has to pay for this?
Well, I think in the simple act of fairness would probably dictate that you would bow out. We've had actors quit comedy voiceover, cartoon jobs because they weren't apparently right for the character they'd been voicing for years or whatever the case is. Look, if you feel like you're not right for it, I got whatever. Hey, that's a decision between you and your employer, as far as I'm concerned. I have really nothing to add to it. But when you proceed to hound out somebody because you're an actor, you're pretending. Nobody really gave a crap. Didn't Cate Blanchett play that singer who I really can't stand? I don't remember.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan. Cate Blanchett played Bob Dylan, right?
Yeah. For artistic reasons. But a
nobody's-
bunch of people did in that movie. I never saw it.
You're an actor. If you went and auditioned and Cate Blanchett for... I didn't see the movie, but let's just say, I mean, in the acting profession, you have to audition and you have to do meetings and you actually have to interview for the job, essentially. If you nailed it, shouldn't matter what you call yourself. Shouldn't matter the way you were born. You're clearly the person right for it. And they somehow managed to make you look kind of like Bob Dylan in that case. So where's the outrage? Why wasn't there outrage there?
I'm pretty sure Peter Mayhew isn't actually a Sasquatch. So...
I want to see the evidence.
I look.
Why don't
I'm not
you
I'm not advocating for Elliot, Ellen, whatever, to lose the job, to play the character. I'm not advocating for that. But what I am irritated about is just the lack of consistency in all this. It's just there's no price that she's going to pay. He's going to pay. There's no price for any of this. It is publicity. It is getting her name out there. There are dozens and dozens and dozens, thousands probably, of trans people. They had to go through some real shit. And they didn't do it for publicity, and they keep it quiet, and they're just trying to live their lives. Exactly. And I feel like she is using their issues, their struggle, whatever you want to call it, for her own personal gain. And I don't think there is a single thing about her that's genuine or real. And no. I guarantee when her star starts to fade again and she's not having any work, she's going to come out as an Islamic French poodle. And then everybody will have to bow down again. You watch, something's going to happen. In fact, she's going to change something again. Maybe she'll go back to being a lesbian. I don't know. Something's going to change again, but it's all going to be about the publicity. And it's all going to be about, because people that really have problems that want to deal with this kind of stuff, they aren't broadcasting it to the world.
No, they're trying to get through. They're trying to get through the day, which is something, quite frankly, everything can understand, and everybody knows what that's like. And you double down with, that kind of identity crisis. Obviously, you and I don't know what that's like. We have our struggles, they have theirs, and you have that added level to it. But
sure,
what you get with movie stars like this, well, movie stars, she has a name. She was nominated for an Oscar, but nobody knows who she is. And that's probably part of the problem for her, I would assume, is a failure to sort of reach that fame and that notoriety and that popularity that you feel you deserve for whatever reason. Which, if that's the case, hey, I got no problem with that either. But what you're doing now is you're climbing a ladder of pain to achieve something for yourself on essentially the backs of others that you didn't earn. Exactly. You haven't hurt. You haven't experienced
as far as I could tell,
family members who have flat out rejected this.
They put her hair up, or he put his hair up in a ball cap. Said, "I'm a man now." Yeah. You remember how you say you can't pray the gay away? Apparently, as a lesbian woman, you can become a hetero man by just saying the gay away. I'm a man now.
Just saying it, and And there are people who feel that they were born the wrong way. They've gone through that very painful process to right something that they felt was wrong.
And they've had to pay a price. What price is
Exactly.
she
And
paying?
there's
It's
there's news for Ellen Page, Alan Page, whatever.
Elliot.
And her and I, Elliot, okay.
Elliot.
Your body doesn't work the way mine does, and mine doesn't work the way yours does. And just saying we're the same, because I identify as a male, doesn't make that the case for you. And if actually, you know what, if she goes through the surgery, because this is a legitimate thing, okay, I got no problem with it. I don't think anybody on earth actually has a problem with it. But until you begin the testosterone injections and the surgeries to fix the plumbing issues that you feel are wrong, and you go through that process to right everything that you feel is wrong. I don't know why I keep saying that, but until you do that, I don't believe it. And to take to your social media to write up paragraphs of it doesn't scream to me as being something that is actually coming from the heart. They actually mean it, or this really is you. Because, again, unless you're desperate for attention, you just want to make it through the day. And I think if there's something like this has been weighing on you for a long time and the real you needs to come out, you would probably just get down to the business of doing it, not announcing it, getting 15 minutes, having two guys talk about it at 9 o'clock at night. Sorry, I don't buy it.
I just went over to Vudu. I happen to own Inception on Vudu. And sure enough, in the cast list, you can't see this, but the viewers can. It's already changed to Elliot Page. And I'm like going, okay, how many trans people are out there going, nobody kissed my ass like that?
No.
I mean, where's the oppression here? What does she think she's got that Inception money still probably rolling in, the royalties.
Uh-huh.
And she's doing the Umbrella Academy. She's got money out the ass. And nobody's stopping her from doing stuff. And, God, I don't really care. God bless you. I just feel like this is a cynical plea for attention. Not even attention. It's for publicity. And I don't like it.
And if it's
not because I don't like, not because I have anything against transgenderism. I really don't. I don't care. I have a problem with people using people that really do suffer to further their own career, and that's what this looks like to me.
Yeah, like I said, you've climbed a ladder of pain that wasn't yours. That you cut ahead. Somebody's done this before you, and to be selfish, to act like a guardian, to act like somebody who's now going to fly the flag and carry the flag forward for something that you are not instrumental in being a part of from the ground up to begin with. As far as I can tell, I don't read celebrity news, so I guess I really couldn't tell you. Maybe at some point she was really an outspoken.
So I felt like we needed to talk about it. I'll probably get banned off YouTube.
Might as well.
But
that's fine. Live the life the way you want to live it. You want to identify as a tree, go ahead. I really don't.
I don't
Best of luck
care.
to you.
Yeah.
Honest to God, whatever gets you through the day.
I won't get in your way, I promise. But
do not act like this is some kind of, important cultural thing that everybody needs to stop and recognize because your 15 minutes were up.
Yeah.
Get in the trenches with people who actually have to live through this kind of probably unimaginable sadness and pain and struggle to try and come to grips with who they are and who they want to be and who they feel they should be. It's like maybe you should have spent time with those people.
When this turns out to be when she finds this no longer useful,
mm-hmm.
and there's a lot of trans people who have gotten on the behind her, thinking that she's carrying their water and helping her out, and when she no longer finds this useful and she drops it like a bad habit, I'm going to say, look, you know, there's
I
nothing legitimate about this person.
no.
You know, and I know that there's a lot of the lesbian community who are feeling that right now
Oh, what?
because they did when she came out lesbian. There was a lot who, you know, since we could, you know, she's carrying our water and that kind of stuff, and now she's
Yeah.
dropped them. So I look, I can't say what's in her heart. I can't say that maybe this is all legitimate. I cannot say for certain that
It's
this
50
isn't.
50 for all we know.
Yeah, I can't say for certain that it's all legitimate. But to me, if it is legitimate, you're not broadcasting it, and you're not and you're not putting out publicity statements.
No, you would get down to the business of trying to right the wrong,
Yeah,
which
you
is
would just
probably, by the way, expensive, and you wouldn't probably want to telegraph everything until you've managed to secure a pretty well. She's got inception money, so I guess everything's fine. But I just it's not adding up.
no. I mean, it feels hollow, and
Yeah.
you know, if it's just, you know, you just want to identify that way, and you just live your life, and you're not making a big thing out of it. You're not making press releases. I would respect that. There's so many people out there who don't get that opportunity, and that's
Yeah.
the sick part to me. And so, I mean, you know, I feel like we just hear the buzzwords, and then we're either for or against.
Yeah.
And when the truth is, we're all just getting played for clicks, and it's like, oh God, it's so cynical now. It just feels. What's
And
the
that
word?
could be part of the problem here too. Is we see
Disingenuous.
this through a heavy filters now of nothing is as it seems. Everything is. There's an ulterior motive. It feels like for just about everything.
Yeah.
Particularly when it comes to the entertainment industrial complex. There's nothing real or even honest anymore. It's from the productions to the people. It's all fake.
It's all tribal.
It's for now. It's for. I mean, we really do. You know, they always say you get your 15 minutes of fame. It is a literal 15 minutes now. The internet, the social media in particular, which is quite frankly mostly more evil than it is good. You're here and then you're gone. You're here. And
Twitter
then
is
you're gone.
Twitter is holding down the scales on that a little bit, on the evil side. I think you get rid of Twitter, maybe it goes back to a balance. But
I would like to restore balance to
Yeah.
the media. Would be nice, but I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. But the idea, though, that you know we've seen this before.
Sure.
This is not the first time something like this has happened. Celebrities at the tail end of whatever they've been given through the Hollywood system or all the attention, all the rest of it. At some point that dries up, and some people go crazy. Some people maybe just suddenly realize they're not who they were. Other people go and do TV. Other people just say, the hell with it, I'm going to start a band. Somebody retires, starts business. I mean, at some point, it winds down for you in the spotlight, depending on how bright the light was.
Yeah.
And you're either desperate to keep it or you just go with it. And
you know,
get something
I get
like
it.
this, and you realize, you know what?
If
it
you
could
were,
be true. We're just
if you're an actor and your whole world is publicity for the most part.
yeah.
I get it. You're going to do things to do stunts and all that kind of stuff. I don't really have a problem with that. I have a problem with using these kinds of things, these kinds of social issues for your own gain. And that's what I think it is. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
This is not an anti-transgender or anything. I don't have a problem with it. I know.
No,
I know.
yourself, who
I
cares?
work
I'm
with
fine with it.
with some. I work with one who is a consummate professional, and I follow one on YouTube that I genuinely respect a lot.
Yeah.
I don't respect using this as a way to get attention or do a power trip or whatever, and that's what I feel like is going on here. So I think we've beat this to death. You're at the last movie, Outpost.
Let's talk about Zack Snyder movies.
That's
Anybody want to talk
right.
about Zack
It's
Snyder
the
movies?
political hour. Yeah.
At least we didn't yell at each other like William Buckley and what's his name?
McLaughlin. Yeah.
There you go.
I think it was never done better than when it was Aykroyd and Jane Curtin. Jane, you ignorant slut.
Ignorant slut. She legitimately, by the way, or at least according to legend, had never forgave him or hasn't forgiven him for doing that. I guess she was a little taken aback by it.
As I understand it, it became a catch line, so it wasn't like they didn't. They kept doing it.
Pop culture lexicon now.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, it did keep going too, but I guess the first time it was quite a shock to the system. Which, hey, I wasn't there. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I'm more than willing to believe that's the case.
You got to figure by now she's like, because now it's like, it feels so quaint, doesn't it? It's great. It's but you and I come from a different era.
Compared to what, even just compared to what we're called, normal day-to-day lives.
Yeah.
If somebody wants to riff "you ignorant slut" to me, I'd like, you know what?
It's not even a bad word anymore.
It's a place of love.
So, the next one I want to talk about is Letitia Wright. Again, so let me.
Speaking of not being able to be yourself.
Yeah, let me talk about what happened, and then I want to preface this. So she put out a video, and I didn't see the video, but she put out a video that was regarding I don't know if it's such an anti-vax video as it's more of a, is this COVID-19 vaccination going to work or something like that? Has it got problems? Look, I'm not...
It struck me as are you sure about this one kind of thing. Which, hey, again, your opinion. What do I care?
Well, that's just it. I don't have an opinion one way or the other, nor am I coming out for or against what she said. This is a free speech issue, and I am getting tired of people putting out their opinion and other people deciding that I'm not allowed to make a decision on that opinion because I'm not allowed to see it. She's taken it down, so I never got a chance to see it. And she took it down because Don Cheadle and Twitter went nuts and canceled her. I have no idea if Twitter or the others have pulled her down officially, or if she just caved because she was getting destroyed on Twitter, which she's 27. I don't blame her.
No, that's important. To anybody probably 35 and younger, that's probably an important thing, for better or for worse.
Especially, like I said, if you're in the entertainment field. I mean, I don't, anybody can run their mouth if they want to. I have the opportunity to run my mouth back, right or wrong, and argue with them.
Yeah.
You have decided, no, you're not allowed to see and make a decision on that because it may be something that we don't want you to see or don't think you should know.
We don't want you to see.
And that's the problem I have. It's like, why are you taking away my choice and my ability to make a decision on this sort of thing? Why is your decision more important than my decision? For me.
Exactly. We're prioritizing people's feelings. We're prioritizing people's emotions. We're in the process now of prioritizing our own emotions, and that aspect of social media, that particular part of social media, the Twitter part, really, it's just you now can't even be confident in what you feel anymore without running it through the prism of mass approval for, do I want to like subject A or do I want to like subject B? Well, what I'm going to do is going to have to be predicated on whether or not mostly bots and maybe a couple of real people are going to react correctly and appropriately to whatever it is I want to. It's like we live in choose your own emotion, and you don't get to choose it. It's chosen for you. So if she has this problem with this particular vaccination, all right. So
she puts out her info.
Honestly,
other people put out their info. We'll figure it out.
And it's like with Ellen Page deciding she's a man. Okay. That doesn't affect us in any real way.
Correct.
But that doesn't mean you shouldn't live that way if that's the way you want to live, and that doesn't mean you shouldn't retweet that, or you shouldn't say, you know what, this particular vaccine I'm not so sure of. It shouldn't matter what we actually think, regardless of where we come down to agreeing with it or not. And then the idea that you're now bullied into taking that down because people you don't know, you've never met, you've never seen, you'll never be around, you'll never talk to.
Except for Don Cheadle.
And who cares what he thinks?
Well, apparently Letitia Wright does.
And if she felt like she needed to take it down for whatever reason, look, maybe there's a legitimate, you know what, I have to work with you every day. This BS is not going to be worth it. It's going to add some kind of issue between whatever working relationship we have. Then I guess like
if Don Cheadle decides,
I wouldn't do it.
If Don Cheadle decides that she's over the line, and if she wouldn't take it down, and makes a big enough stink about it, do you think Letitia Wright would continue to have a job, or would they recast her? Because they got to recast Chadwick Boseman anyway. I mean, you know, this is what I'm scared about. It's not that Letitia was right or wrong. She's probably wrong.
There is no right or wrong in your opinion.
It doesn't.
Your opinion is your opinion. It's not based on being right or wrong.
Well, it may be a wrong opinion. Maybe the vaccination is perfectly fine and she's wrong. So what? I don't care. My point, that's up for me to decide. But is she going to lose her job because she had a wrong opinion? Because that's definitely a possibility in this climate.
That was probably mentioned, and I think that's disgusting. That is absolutely disgusting.
I mean, I liked her in the movie.
And to have your coworker bully you like that, let's talk about sort of right to work violations or whatever else is going on. That she shouldn't have to work in a hostile work environment. Does being bullied for not agreeing with groupthink constitute a hostile work environment?
Well, I think
that you didn't create.
Yeah, I think there is some legitimacy there. So we'll see what happens. She's not. I mean, nothing. You know, she took it down. It's probably just a tempest in a teacup. It'll move on. But you know, I look at Gina Carano, you know, and I think of some of these, like these actors sometimes, and like they're sitting there in their gated communities with defund the police signs. Shut up. You do want to tell them to shut up. But truth is,
sure. But think that if that's what you think, I don't care.
Yeah, if they want to speak up, they have every right as Americans to speak up like anybody else does. And personally, I think that that's not an American right. I think it's a human right, even if other countries won't protect it. But be that as it may, this idea that, you know, you say the wrong thing and they'll ruin your life. I'm just so over this. And I'm like,
it's a
let me
dangerous world.
You're not only taking away her chance to live her life, you're making her scared to speak her mind, but you're taking away my choice to decide whether or not what she said was right or wrong. Yeah. Taking away your choice, taking away anybody that's watching this choice. Why, Don Cheadle, is your opinion and your decision making more valid than mine or Dom's or any of the people watching this stream or any of the other hundreds of millions of people that are living in America right now? Why do you get to decide? Why do you people on Twitter get to decide? That's my problem with it. Not about the content of what she tweeted, but about who gets to decide what we get to talk about, what we get to make decisions, you know, see and read, and what we don't.
Yeah, I mentioned it a second ago. It's a dangerous world. You now have, you know, there's that scene in The Patriot where they'd asked Mel Gibson's character would he, you know, embrace the rebellion or, you know, this new country they're trying to build, and he said, why would I replace one tyrant 1,000 miles away with 1,000 tyrants 1 mile away?
Yeah.
And that's social media, which started out so wonderful, and with the power of not being declared publishers and maybe not having that, our culture, especially in our American culture, works really well and is fantastic when the checks and balances are in place. And the checks and balances in place are typically, for the most part, more free market, more personal choice, more individual freedom, more risk-taking on the part of the individual. When that's taken away, which is essentially what Twitter has done, we've created thousands of tyrants.
Millions.
And that is millions. Well, it's probably closer to thousands. I don't buy that Twitter's got that many people on
That's true.
But
you got
and then even
25
then,
people and 300 million bots.
Yeah, we're literally fighting the Matrix. Then, when you really think about it, they've given themselves that power, and in a way, we let them take it. I think there was that, the idea that you throw a frog into a pot and you bring the boil up very nice and slow. It never notices until it's too late. In a lot of ways, especially this year, that's probably panning out to be the case. And I think the boil's turned into a full-on fry. And we might have just gone, well, shit, hindsight being what it is. But Don Cheadle is a nobody. He's no more important than you or I are.
Nope.
And the idea that he gets this little soapbox thing that is, for whatever reason, has been given the weight of the power of a presidency virtually, because you can reach more people than they can. I think they need
several
to be held
hundred thousand.
accountable.
You get not only several 100,000 followers on Twitter, but then you get the sycophantic media reprinting it and all the different, the
laziness on there.
I mean, do you know where I found this freaking story? You wouldn't believe it. You know where I found this story?
Russia Today.
Yahoo Sports. Why is Yahoo Sports running this story?
Yeah,
why?
I believe it.
What
actually.
does this have to do with any of these? Is NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, NCAA basketball?
Don Cheadle.
What does that have to do with anything? Why is Yahoo Sports? I mean, if it got there, it got everywhere in the entertainment media.
Yeah.
But that's the thing that blew my mind. I'm like, why is it on Yahoo Sports? Why?
Everything has now been tied into the culture war, which is that never-ending shitstorm. And ESPN, I guess, if you found this on Yahoo Sports, you can thank ESPN for it, because they decided that ESPN stood for more than just sports. It was now about culture. It was about politics. It was about whatever was going on, wherever it was going on. It's like, you're forgetting that, number one, we don't go to you for that. But at the same time, it's now you have to deal with it. It's in your face. It's going to be shoved down your throat, whether you want it to or not. And there are people like Don Cheadle who are more than willing to assume the mantle. You don't have to be told to do that. You just you're that person. You're that kind of personality. Oh, we're given free rein. We're going to make this an issue. We will create problems where none of them have existed before, because we're the solution to the problem that we created that never existed anymore. It's disgusting and it's dangerous. It absolutely is. And the only way we can't ignore it. I mean, because it's something to talk about, but it has to be pushed back.
Yeah, I agree.
And by the way, I think Don Cheadle should be entitled to his opinion. If you don't like her for that opinion, good on you. I don't really care. Doesn't bother me in the least, but you're more than welcome to not like somebody for whatever reason you don't want to like them for.
Yeah.
But it's also like that.
You just say that video is
maybe keep that between
trash.
You and her.
That video is hot trash, he told everybody everywhere. It's like, why? I have no idea. Yeah. The thing was pulled down because she's been shamed. He says it's hot trash. I have no specifics on whether or not it was or wasn't, what was right with it, what was wrong with it, what was in it, what was not in it. I don't know. I can't make the decision now. Thanks, guys.
And you know what? Here's the other problem. Is instead of having
finish this up, because they're going to eat each other if I don't do the chat.
Well, they could probably go to our OnlyFans for that. It used to be when you disagreed with somebody, you didn't just sit there and say, fuck you, I'm going to destroy your life. It was, I don't agree with you and here's why.
Right.
And then that other person got to go, and maybe they do it because this is the international sign of text messaging. It would be a reply, well, okay, if that's what, here's my retort to that. And then at some point you would either agree, you're never going to agree. So then drop it and move on because we're still friends or we're still coworkers and this isn't worth it. We don't do that anymore.
Right.
Now it's my way or the highway, sir. My way or the highway, ma'am.
Yeah.
And it's like he who strikes first wins. And it's sad, it's disgusting, it's pathetic. It's pathetic on all parts. If he's just like, this is hot trash. Well, I'm sorry, I'm not brain dead. Number one, why do you think that way? Number two, what would you do different? Number three, why are you doing this on a stupid public forum?
It would be nice to know, because maybe he has some really good points, but I'll never know now.
No. It's like, well, you're wrong too then, jerk off.
Yeah. So, okay, let's go through here. Bourgeois Scum was first. He thinks he was. Actually, Paul told us to get ready to suffer way earlier. He's the guy that sits in line, for the Star Wars tickets, months in advance. So good on you, Paul.
He's the guy who back in the 90s went to Ain't It Cool News, hitting that refresh button really quick, hoping there'd be an article. He could be the first one. Because I did it more than once.
Disavow. This is a good one. What is your name? Ellen Page. What is your quest to get attention? What is your sexual identity? Gay. No, trans. Ah! I like it. I like it a lot.
That gets the stamp of approval.
Exotic Ebob Jr., when he wears a dress to school, everybody claps. Sure they do. Sure they do. Frodo, I feel like Yoda is going off the rails a bit, even though I agree with him. I don't understand that at all. I agree with you, but sense. You're going off the rails. Well, then you must be going off the rails with me, Frodo.
Exactly.
He believes that
simpatico.
He believes that Dom needs to balance it out. Dom, you were with me pretty much all through that, so we're all going off the rails together.
Oh, I'm sorry. You came here for point counterpoint. You came here for point double down on point.
So this is Echo Chamber. Welcome.
Yeah. We should call LMO's Echo.
Bourgeois says he likes when Yoda rants. Fucking weirdos need to be told. Bald Owl, I play a normie every day and there's no outrage.
Share your truth.
They want me to use her pronouns. Bourgeois says, my pronouns are fuck and off. Damn cultural appropriating lesbians. This may get, the comments may get me in trouble here. Well, there's no way to give a chick...
Speech forum.
There's no way to give a chick a fake penis implant surgery. Yeah, there is. It's called the addictomy. You're taking this much too seriously. Ellen Page's insanity is not something to be laughed off, but it should not be treated seriously. She's mentally unstable. Well, yeah, I don't know. I mean,
maybe. But if that's the case, you have family and friends, you have agents, you have business partners, you have managers, you have studio heads and executive producers. Those people should show an ounce of fucking caring.
Yeah, this feels way too calculated.
Yes.
To be just a crazy person doing stuff. I mean, there's press releases, the IMDb, everybody, they were there changing her name everywhere very quickly. And they all did it they all did it at the same time. This doesn't feel like, this feels very calculated and very planned. And a mentally unstable person isn't able to get that kind of movement that quickly.
That reminds me of something that happened in November that looked oddly calculated. Back in November, we had something that looked oddly calculated and a little too suspicious. But we don't want to upset the algorithm now, do we?
No, we don't. Bald Owl, I identify as an actress. Bourgeois says it still says actress. Elliot Page is an actress. Somebody screwed up.
Not my
how is this different than Rachel Dolezal? Dolezal paid a price. That's the difference.
What though?
Well, she got raked pretty hard over the coals, and she got
Okay.
removed from her job. I think she's writing books now and coming back, but there was a. I'm not saying it was a great price, but she did pay something of a price. I have seen no blowback for this in any way, shape, or form. If she's gonna say she's oppressed, I gotta see something that says some evidence of oppression.
There is no oppressed there. No, I don't buy it for a minute.
How long before you limp dicks pick up your guns and clock in for work? Disavow. Uh, I will tell you for a fact there is nothing in Ellen Page's heart. She's an NPC. I think she's manipulating NPCs. I really do. And she
What is
knows
that?
it. Non-player character. You know the
Okay.
the gray drones that they do, the meme as an NPC.
Gotcha.
I'm an atheist, so all the religious stuff doesn't interest me. That said, communism is the greatest evil on earth. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Nope. Ellen Page is oppressed by evil. Whatever. She looks trouble. She's oppressed. They're going back and forth. Frodo liked her in Inception. I did too. I mean,
She was great. She's actually a perfectly fine actor. She was in a TV show called Trailer Park Boys for a little bit, which I adore. And she was fantastic in it.
Did you see Super? It was the one with Dwight from The Office and Ellen Page. And he was a somewhat troubled guy who decided to put on a costume and fight crime crime being, you
Not all of it, but yes, I know the one.
You took too long in
Gunn.
line. Yeah, James Gunn.
Yeah.
You took too long in line, or you were rude, so he hit you on the head with a pipe wrench. I mean, it's darkly funny, but it's also pretty crazy. Well, she plays a crazy person in it. She's great.
Yeah,
I know
she's fantastic
talented.
in Inception too.
She's got the talent.
Against her professionally.
I like Juno. She's got the talent. It's nothing to do with her talent or any of that kind of stuff. I wish she would just rely on it more and work on that more than trying to gin up all this publicity.
Let the record show. Point counterpoint. I hated Juno.
Fair. I can see
But
why
I'm
you
not
wouldn't
canceled
like it.
for it.
I can see why you wouldn't like it. Let's see. The global intelligence networks that control the information and control over Google and everyone else. Okay. Now they're getting into CIA and looks like radio in your molars.
Sweet.
You guys are
East of the internet, dial LMO.com.
That's
West of
right.
the internet, dial LMO.com.
Bald Owl does believe Gina Carano looks like she'd be fun to naked wrestle with. I will agree with that. They're going to make some fake COVID vaccination cards. That'll go well. And then they bitch at us to read
really,
the
the
read
peanut
these.
gallery.
Yeah. So, all right, I've caught up as much as I'm going to catch
We've
up
upset
because
the peanut gallery.
if I read each and every one of these, one, it'll take too long, and two, I'm pretty sure that black helicopters will start coming over my house. So we're gonna let that go away. Yeah. But let's
it's like that movie Conspiracy Theory or whatever. Every good I don't remember the saying. Never mind. But I know the silent helicopters are here because I can't hear them.
That's right. Like you're just paranoid. No, I'm not. Why? What have you heard? So let's talk about let's no more politics. It's enough.
Depending on what this topic is.
Stop it, Dom. It's all your fault.
Counterpoint.
It wasn't like I wrote all these notes. Warner movies. Every single one of them is getting dropped to HBO Max. Not just Wonder Woman 84. All through, or at least most of 2021. Yes, they'll still be going to theaters, but they're getting dropped on HBO Max at the same time. AMC is shitting kittens. And I don't blame them. Um,
They're
I'm
the biggest theater chain, right? AMC is the biggest.
I think so. At least in the United States, Regal's right up there
Yeah.
with them.
Yeah.
But let me bring up the. I know that they are working towards, like they're going into talks now, right?
Yeah.
They have the big talks and try to get this done. But AMC demands urgent talks with Warner Brothers. I'll read you off what we got here as soon as it comes up. Sorry, everything's running a little slow because I'm a one-man show here.
I'm just here for the jokes, folks.
Warner Brothers will now release all their premiere content, including Dune and the upcoming Matrix sequel, direct to HBO Max for streaming
Matrix sequel.
at the same time as their cinema release. This has made the already febrile, Stark using big words on us, atmosphere between theaters and studios borderline toxic. Theaters have been struggling to survive, and studios have had millions of dollars worth of product with no route to market, which is true. I mean, when
Yeah.
it's sitting there, it's like,
Yeah.
well, we can put it in the theaters, no one can go see it because half of the damn cities are in lockdown.
Yeah. Look at Tenet.
Yeah, well, I was willing to give Tenet somewhat of a pass because it wasn't a very good movie, and people just went, I'm not going to see this shit. Everybody's telling me it's terrible. And it wasn't good. But we're talking about, some MC. Well, Marvel will do that. We'll see what happens there. But we're talking some big ones here.
I think No, never mind. Go ahead.
So both studios and chains are desperate to rebuild revenues after virus control measures closed cinemas and decimated their 2020 business plans. The new releases will be available on the service in the U.S. for 1 month after release, as well as Wonder Woman 84. This will include Godzilla vs. King Kong, Mortal Kombat, and the Suicide Squad. Or Suicide Squad 2, I guess. AMC has come out swinging. Adam Aaron said, quote, "These coronavirus impacted times are uncharted waters for all of us, which is why AMC signed on to an HBO Max exception to the customary practices for one film only, Wonder Woman 84, which would be released by Warner Brothers at Christmas when the pandemic appears that it will be at its height. We will do all in our power to ensure that Warner does not do so at our expense. We will aggressively pursue economic terms that preserve our business. We have already commenced an immediate and urgent dialogue with the leadership on Warner on this project." Pick up the phone! Pick it up! Pick it up! I'm in it!
AMC's on the line, sir. Who?
Who? Oh, fuck them. No one wants films back on the... Okay, so this is Ann Sarnoff, chair and chief executive of Warner Media Studios, and said the pandemic called for creative solutions. No one wants films back on the big screen more than we do. We know the new content is the lifeblood of theatrical exhibition, but we have to balance this with reality, and most theaters in the U.S. will likely operate at reduced capacity throughout 2021. So AMC...
Half of that is bullshit. She does not care.
She
They
doesn't
do
care at all.
not care.
She doesn't care at all. And don't forget that AMC already banned Universal films after the studio said it would release new movies at home and on the big screen the same day. So AMC is already is cutting off some of it. Not that Universal has a ton of stuff. Warner Brothers is saying this is a unique one-year plan that would give moviegoers who may not have access to theaters or aren't quite ready to go back to the movies a chance to see our amazing 2021 films. We see it as a win-win for film lovers and exhibitors. Really? I don't think the exhibitors see it that way.
No, it's your chance to get rid of them and keep 100% from the beginning.
Wow. This is this is a fundamental change. Now here's another thing throw in there, and I saw this earlier today. Let me see if I can find it here. Talk amongst yourselves. But what
I'm just going to say that judging by that list of films being released in this hybrid model that they're talking about, I don't think they probably had much confidence in any of them to begin with, because none of it sounds interesting. No. The idea that we're getting another Matrix, we didn't even want the second and the third.
One of the
We
things
didn't
I
want. We
saw.
didn't want. Oh my! It's just. I'm sorry, and you know what the other problem is? It's comic book films, and that's probably coming to an end. And they've got hundreds of millions of dollars invested in that particular kind of movie, and they need to get it out now before we've all just decided we want to move on.
True. Now I did see a story, and I'm trying to find it here, um, uh, but I believe what it says is say goodbye to trial periods.
Hmm.
Um, Streaming. Let's see. I can't find the story now, of course, but
Naturally,
naturally,
it's in the big stack of stuff.
streaming services no longer support free trials, according to Consumer Reports. I think it was HBO Max. There was a let's see if it's in the news. Well, wherever it is, I can't find it. But it would not surprise me. They say, okay, well, if you sign in, you're signing in. You're going to pay at least the month. There's no more
Yeah,
free trial because we're not going to let you just come on for a month to watch Wonder Woman and then bail.
and what's the 1 month going to be? $30, $40, something like that.
Oh, I don't think it's even that. I think it's per month. It's like $7 to $10 if you pay, because I pay month to month on most of mine, so I can quit
Right.
at any time. But at least
Right.
I'll get their $10, which is about what a movie theater ticket. When you know they're going to lose a little bit because you're doing a family household,
Right.
but what they're banking on is how many people will go in there. They pay their $10, so they'll try to get their money's worth. They'll watch a lot of stuff. Maybe they bring up The Sopranos. And they start binging The Sopranos. Well, the month goes by quicker than you think because you got real life and everything. Like, fuck, I'll just let it go because I want to finish The Sopranos. And then they got you. Right? And then you
I
figure
think
it's like,
last
it's
time we did
$10.
this, I compared it to a gym membership.
Mm-hmm.
You go hard for 2-3 months, and then you stop going, but you keep paying.
Yeah. So I think that's what's going to happen, but I get why they're getting rid of free trials. But boy, entire 2021 slate. You know, I don't see theaters surviving, at least the way
No.
we knew them. What ends up happening, I don't know. Just this is a we're fucked moment, and AMC knows it.
Yeah, you maybe get lucky and see the rebirth of the drive-in, but I have said on a couple of our broadcasts that I was confident that theaters would survive, but they're going to be the ones that serve food, decent enough food, and probably craft beer and some other kinds of things. Those ones, that Alamo model, would probably be okay because people want to go out at some point. They want to get dinner, and they maybe want to go to a movie.
Sure.
I still think that maybe that's the case, but when you have a major American movie studio say, you know what, the hell with it, everything we got, the entire catalog, it's going this weird trial run hybrid model of it's going to be in a theater, but it's also going to be on our streaming service. That is a pretty big warning sign if you're a theater owner, period. And of course, because studios don't ever do things original on their own without other ones quickly following behind it, because if it works, they're going to do it. I can see the other big studios after Warner's. You have Universal and Paramount, and Disney's already done it, and they claimed huge success with Mulan. What was it? Mulan. You could probably hide a Star Wars disaster in there and make it look pretty good if you wanted, if you're Disney. And then was it Paramount is the other one? I don't think there are any studios left. Columbia, but that's Sony.
Well, I mean, Disney snapped up Fox, so that was two big ones. And then you have Warner and all their various ones. And then Universal and Paramount. I guess you got the Sony, which has Columbia Pictures.
Yeah, but I mean,
that's it.
Columbia for 20 years has been nothing but one shit show disaster after the other.
Most of it's Spider-Man.
I'm surprised they can even put a movie together. But yeah, there hasn't even been a good Spider-Man film since Spider-Man 2.
I like the new ones with but that's Feige making sure that
Yeah.
they stay within the MCU. But those two Amazing Spider-Man movies were just god awful. So we wanted to mention that because it was kind of a big deal. We've talked about this ad nauseum in other streams, but it's just another nail in the coffin, I think.
I think this is the one. I mentioned it a little bit earlier. I actually brought it up before we started broadcasting. This was the studio saying the entire catalog for the year is going on. This model is. It just takes one more studio to do it, and that's basically it. Yep. And you won't even get studios buying or signing exclusive deals with theaters like they used to have. I don't even think they're going to bother with that.
No.
Because now Universal, Warner Brothers, Paramount, Disney, and Fox, they now control 100% of the revenue stream. Of course, it ruins the movie-going process or the movie-going experience because it's fine for a convenience thing to be able to pause a film, get up, go to the bathroom, grab something to drink, come back, sit down, finish the film. But you do sort of miss that movie-going experience, the smell of popcorn and all those things that we used to just sort of take for granted now going to films. Which, you know what? People younger than me probably have no idea what the hell I'm talking about anyway. Because most of what they get is through streaming and social media, so they don't know
you buy
what a
yourself
joy going to movie actually was.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's been a joy like it was back in the day. And you buy yourself a big 85-inch screen, throw it in your basement, have a halfway decent sound system, and sit there with your family. I mean, half the time, especially when it's crowded, I got too many people, pulling out their phones, making too much noise.
Oh yeah. But look, I had Master and Commander ruined for me the opening night when I went to see it. But still, going to a film, it's such a thing. But look, I hook a movie screen up in my backyard and we'll watch Evil Dead, so I guess I'm okay.
Yeah, I mean, If I never have to see a movie theater bathroom, which basically puts truck stops to shame, as far as horrifying,
I've seen some shit.
It's literally shit on the walls. It's
I wasn't kidding.
Bizarre.
On the walls.
So
it's like a public park bathroom.
They are so bad. So let's get to what the main topic is. We've chewed up an hour here.
Nice.
Was not planning on doing that, but I have. Okay, so we got 33 comments here. I will go through. First of all, let's talk about our movies that we've fallen asleep in. I'll go first because I only have two. One was this was in 2008, the cartoon Clone Wars movie, which was actually 3 strung together episodes of the show. Now, I actually like the show very much, although it took a little bit of time to get going, but it really found its way. But
show's not bad.
The show's not bad, but those 3 episodes, or that movie, if you want to call it that, I literally fell asleep. And this is just after my divorce, and I would, the kids were still small back then, so I took them to the movies a lot. We all, it was just kind of our thing, but I just, as soon as that damn Jabba the Hutt kid came out, that little grub, I was gone. I fell asleep. The other one I fell asleep in was, and one I was really looking forward to was Man of Steel. This is before I realized the scourge that is Zack Snyder. Yeah. But about the point where he started fighting the the World Engine, and it had all those weird tentacles coming out. I couldn't make it. I was gone. And next thing I know, he's destroying military drones. So I gave up. So those are the 2 I fell asleep in.
National Lampoon's Van Wilder, and when Sean Connery and Richard Gere were in a movie to ape off the success of Braveheart.
First night?
First night.
Yeah.
Bored.
I heard that wasn't good.
Bored.
Now,
Just
you
bored.
You fell asleep in the theater.
Saw it in the theater. Saw it at the theater is no longer gone, but it was up the road for me. And yeah.
I mean, you think about how
I was
loud.
a kid too.
So I just want to mention, you think about how loud the sound systems are in theaters, how much is going on. And if the movie is so bad that it knocks you unconscious.
Just done.
This
is awful. This is terrible.
That's impressive. That's an impressive array of crap. So let me get through here. Let's see. Mrs. Boone's beta unit.
I'm going to be taking a quick bathroom break.
Okay.
Everybody, hang on. You read the comments.
I will read the comments.
I'm going to refresh.
And you go.
And I will be back. Two shakes of a lamb's tail.
All right, there you go. Let's see here. Bald Owl. Oh my God, they are finally going to get to boring movies now that I'm about to retire. Yes. Sorry. The seas will be thick with plunder, says I, says Bourgeois Scum. Yeah, the HBO Max, that's the thing. I don't know. I don't think that many people are going to I mean, the piracy is going to happen no matter what, but for a lot of people, the piracy is more trouble than it's worth than to have the Netflix or the. So I don't know how much they're going to lose on that. Bald Owl, I used to go to my local AMC theater almost every weekend, but then everybody I know dropped dead from the COVID. That's a shame. It's hard being the smartest person on earth. When I speak, people start making black helicopter jokes. Hell, Frodo. Was it a joke? Was it? I'm guessing that direct to streaming is where that Matrix sequel belongs. Yeah. I think the third one actually did. Well, actually, everything after the first one did. Bald Owl, I won't even bother with that. I can't even imagine how insufferably woke that will be. Yeah, the Wachowskis. We'll see. Frodo, nice chatting with you fine folks. I suppose I'll go buy me some more alcohol. Very good. Bald Owl, I want smart, intelligent, and funny. There's no such thing anymore. Bourgeois Scum. It says, have one for me. That's what she said. Ha ha ha. Everybody's going out and getting a smoke. They are leaving. Bourgeois Scum, this is the shittiest time for film since the early 30s. Yeah, probably. And back then they had the excuse of sound making film technique limited until they improved the technology. Yes. Baldell, I have a trap set in my backyard. I'm going to try to catch that goddamn armadillo. Don't touch it, man. Those things have leprosy. I don't know if you knew that. I found that out. But apparently they are crawling with leprosy. Let's see. So you guys are catching animals. You're destroying them. Let's see. They're talking about critters and bears and old girlfriends. Seems like that would follow. I have pleasant memories of spiking my drinks in the cinema bathrooms. You didn't even want anything you could eat or drink anywhere near those cinema bathrooms, man. Different. Yep. Mine broke down the fence, came in to feast on my loquat trees. Sounds like a Dr. Seuss film. I think you're making stuff up. That movie was a bad way to introduce the Clone Wars show. Yeah, it's amazing how well it rebounded after that piece of shit movie. Never expected to be up this late. It's only 10 o'clock here.
So unprofessional.
And it's Friday night. Yeah, we normally don't do a Friday night, but since I did one...
Friday Night Live.
Yeah, I did a crazy rant earlier. So I got through them. I got through the chats, bud. I think...
anything good?
Well, I think they're all kind of winding down. It's like, I can't type anymore.
The Quaaludes and the alcohol.
Can't hold my head up anymore. These guys are so boring.
They're phobic. Everything is phobic.
Okay, let's see. Mrs. Boone's beta unit. He said, totally crashed out on a midnight showing of After Hours, a very surreal experience. You haven't seen that in so long. That's the Scorsese one, isn't it?
Yeah.
With Griffin Dunn? Yeah, I need to see that. Also, the shitty Godzilla. Not the shitty Matthew Broderick one, but the shitty Gareth Edwards one, and a midnight showing as well. I feel like you're tipping the scales when you say a midnight showing, because I have trouble getting through a midnight showing no matter what. I would have trouble getting through a midnight showing of Star Wars. So
I feel like calling the Gareth Edwards Godzilla shitty is stretching it a bit. I think it's actually a really good one.
My problem with it is that most of the scenes of Godzilla are people sitting at an airport cantina watching it on TV. It's like
it's social commentary. Yeah. You didn't see the shark in Jaws until the end.
That's
not that I'm saying it's the same thing.
That's
Don't get me wrong. What I'm
dude.
saying is, I'm not saying it's the same thing. I'm saying keeping it restrained like that. I have no problem with the attempt.
I'm gonna let the chat decide.
Yeah, they're all wrong unless they agree.
Sherm Dog says Harry Potter 5. He says there's probably been others over the years, but turns out I have a condition, so I couldn't tell whether it's the film or being boring. So I did mention a lot of this, and then I had to put in the things like it's got to be the movie's fault. Not because you took a bunch of Quaaludes. Highlander 3, The Sorcerer with Mario Van Peebles.
Oh. Now, does it have to be like going to a theater and falling asleep? Or can it be like, I really want to watch this film? Oh, Mission to Mars. I almost fell asleep.
I can see that. Is that the one?
The one with Tim? No, not the Angry Red Planet remake, but Mission to Mars, the one with Tim Robbins and and our very own Don Cheadle,
where he cut his rope and then he pulled off his helmet and died on purpose. He's like, I went out of this fucking movie.
I woke up right there. I was like, I basically straightened up right then, and I was like, oh, let's go down this road, and it only led to a crying alien.
Indiana Peach walked out of the second Bourne movie. Does that count?
Did you fall asleep on the way out?
Nah, yeah, you didn't fall asleep. You got angry, so
yeah.
Walking out of movies might be another topic we take up one day, but that's
never
a good
done
idea.
That.
Creativity is hard. KK says the second Bourne Identity movie, she fell asleep during the car chase. And the Disney movie Home on the Range, she was snoring in that. And she fell asleep on the Star Tours at Disneyland, the original one, multiple times. That's blasphemy. I'm just saying it.
I think that's funnier now.
Could you imagine? The damn thing's moving around. She's sleeping. She's like, oh.
The whole time, too. And it's not... Man... I know they've probably screwed it up 6 ways from Sunday, but that old Star Tours ride was awesome. And, even the stupid 3-hour wait to get on was pretty entertaining the whole way. Like, you can vacation on the moons of Endor. And then you get yelled at by a C-3PO.
Well, and you have Pee Wee Herman that is running the ship, if you remember, right?
That's right.
The little robot, yep.
A little robot that looks like it's from that other movie. I can't think of it off the top of my head. Never mind.
Bald Owl said he fell asleep in Where the Wild Things Are and Season of the Witch. Now, I remember Where the Wild Things Are, and I found it to be really pretentious.
Where the Wild Things Are? Which one is that?
Do you remember the book? It's a children's book where the kid has like a bunny outfit or something, or a wolf outfit or something, and it's
a Spike Jonze film.
It's a Spike Jonze
film. That movie's
film.
really good. I really like that movie. I thought it was.
I like Spike Jonze. I do like
the
Spike
movie's
Jonze
out
films.
there. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it is. I
It
just
took huge liberties with the story, if I remember correctly. I haven't seen it in forever and a day, but I was like, but all right, I'm okay with it. You added your thing to it. I guess that's all right. And I thoroughly enjoyed it.
what is Season of the Witch? I don't remember that one.
I think I can see the poster, but I don't remember a thing
is
about
that like Len Kabaczynski's Season of the Wolf?
Curse of the Wolf.
Curse of the Wolf.
His movies are some of the movies. I'm not gonna say. They're on. They might be on YouTube.
Okay, it's with Nick Cage. It has a. Came out in 2011. It has a 11% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, it's got to be good then.
Well, at this point, this was in 2011 when the critics were still, not insane. But yeah, I I can see why that it would have fallen through. Stark says he fell asleep in Star Wars. He was 3 years old.
Hmm.
And an Empire Strikes Back special edition was showing. It was the last showing of the night. He'd been drinking since 6 p.m. Again, I feel like you're tilting the scales.
Should have stayed awake like a man.
That's right. I did, however. Now this was back in '93, so we're talking before DVDs even. And the only copies of Star Wars I had were VHS pan and scan.
Ooh, pan and scan.
Yeah, and I did have trouble getting through. They had a midnight showing at a brand new opening of a theater of Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back, and the next night they had Return of the Jedi. And it's like, oh, Star Wars in theaters. When am I going to get to see this? As it turns out, it would be 4 years later, but I didn't know that at the time. But I remember that was the first time I really understood widescreen. It's just one of those things that never really clicked in my head that there was a widescreen, there was a pan scan, things were missing. Mm-hmm. But I remember there on my tape, I had never seen this. I'd worn that tape down to nothing, but I'd never seen this scene. And there's a scene where they're in the asteroid field, and he's Vader's having a conference call. He's having a Zoom call, and all the guy, all the Star Destroyer commanders around him. Right before they switch to that, they have an exterior shot, and you see one of the asteroids just plow into the bridge of one of the Star Destroyers.
Oh.
Then they switch to the interior shot, and you see the guy that's standing there go, "Ah!" and die. And Vader doesn't even care. He just keeps talking to him like he doesn't give a shit. And I just started laughing my ass off because I was like, I've never seen that before. Now, of course, it sticks out to me like a sore thumb every time I watch it.
It's worth going back and watching on its own.
Yeah, but I mean, it's such a deadpan, humorous moment that doesn't really. I feel like it doesn't get enough. It's really an underlooked or whatever you want to call it. But it's I get a kick out of it every time because he doesn't give a shit. He doesn't care.
You ain't got time to fucking care about that.
About fucking evil. What do you want? Look at the black cape. The
you
machine.
Probably deserved it. You stupid idiot.
You see the ATM here? You see all the breathing shit? Come on. The hold steady. The only movie I ever fell asleep at the theater was Batman Begins. Not because I didn't like it, because I've been up. That's not. He said. Oh, he puts edit. Sorry, I posted this before I saw Yoda's admonition, so I guess that doesn't care. Bald Owl says he's never made it through Blade Runner in one sitting without falling asleep. Blade Runner is a movie that I respect more than I love, if that makes sense. I do like Blade Runner a lot, and I think there are moments that are brilliant. The Tears in the Rain, obviously, the special effects, the Vangelis music, but it's less than the sum of its parts, if that makes sense.
That's why you said earlier you could understand why I felt a certain way about a film, then I can understand why you feel that way about Blade Runner.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily agree, but completely sympathetic. Yeah, I can see the point of view.
I like Blade Runner. I mean, I don't think it's
You just have to
trash or
go.
anything, but
It's
it's not
you
always
either dump right in or you don't. That's
Yeah.
all there is to it.
I feel like there's something missing from it. I don't know what it is. I think Blade Runner 2049 is great, but it's too much.
Beautiful film.
It's too much the other way. It's too long. You know, it's like somehow we got to get one of these that it's right.
Somehow we just decide we're not going to do it anymore.
We've got two of the three bears here. We got one that's too hot, one that's too cold. We need to get that just right porridge, So, okay. Son of Romero. Okay, yeah. He says he did fall asleep. And assassination of Jesse James by the coward.
Oh, he really wrote the whole title, huh?
Well, he just said assassination of Jesse James.
Oh.
But yeah, he says that one puts him down. He says Kung Fu Panda puts him down too. Kung Fu Panda 2. Excuse me, 2. Yeah, I love the first one, and the other 2 and 3 are fine. I just don't. They're fine. Roy Batty wishes he had slept through Tenet. No kidding.
Never even saw it.
Yash or whatever says fell asleep during the pod race in Phantom Menace. If you got that far. That Clooney terrorism film. What is the Clooney terrorism film?
The Peacemaker?
Was rudely awakened from my slumber by the screams of George as he was having his fingernails pulled out. I don't know which film that is.
Oh, he plays a CIA guy. It's one of those post 9/11 films, and it was written and directed by the guy who wrote the U.S. version of, what is that called? Oh, it's a Steven Soderbergh film. Michael Douglas is in it. Catherine Zeta-Jones is, I think, in it. And it's the drug film. It's the movie about the drug war. Traffic.
Traffic.
The guy who wrote
okay.
Traffic
Yeah.
did that, and I can't remember the name of what it was off the top of my head, but he's like a CIA agent or something like that. It's none of those political films, and it looks like a Steven Soderbergh film when it was all lots of shaky, kind of thing going on. God, what was the name of that film? But I think that's the one he's talking about.
Somebody will put it in the chat, maybe. Mr. Anderson says, Hunger Games part something or other. Spider-Man Shortcoming, and Harry Potter, The Deathly Hallows part 1 of too many. So all of those he said he'd fall asleep in. And finally, Dr. Steele says, The Saint. Yeah, I can see falling asleep in The Saint.
I know, it's such a shit show. How do you take your eyes off?
Yeah. Okay, so I think we've
abused this child enough.
Yeah, I think we need an LMO chat board. God damn it! I don't know a good. I've been thinking about using Streamlabs or some of these things that might work a little better, especially if I could do super chats.
Yeah,
but I had a hell of a time with it the first time I tried it, so I'm gonna have to play around with it. Maybe they've upgraded it a little bit more and it works better, but we'll see. I'll that has a little bit better chat function that would actually make the chats appear on the screen and things like that.
Oh, nice.
I just haven't gotten around to putting it back up, mostly because just trying to get these up and running, get everybody involved, and having the time to do the videos that I want to do. And
yeah.
So
hey, it's on the board. What do you want? We'll get to it when we get to it.
That's right. I do have.
Jesus.
I do have a video I am going to work out with if you haven't voted yet, and if you look on lastmovieoutpost.com, the first if you scroll down, we have all the latest stories in a row. But we have stickied the top 15 actors and actresses. So if you haven't got your votes in, get them in now. Email
I need to do that.
Yeah. Contact us at lastmovieoutpost.com. I do too. The problem is I have a problem picking movie stars. And one is because too many of them open their goddamn mouths and then they don't like them anymore.
I'm with you on that one.
And
I don't think. And
it's like
there are movie stars are you're gone. There aren't movies. I think Tom Cruise, maybe Brad Pitt, and Leonardo DiCaprio are probably the last of what you would consider like a classical. Well, maybe actor, but movie star.
Yes, you still have to get. I mean,
there aren't any after them.
But it has to be the right part, right? I mean, you can't have Brad Pitt playing, in Amistad or something like that. It's not going to work. It's
maybe not, but
no.
I mean, they're also not making Amistad anymore. That movie didn't make any money, but
you get what I'm saying. To me, it's like the actor, fine, a good actor does good things, but I have problems because certain characters, like Wonder Woman, can't be played by fucking George Clooney. I'm sorry,
True.
You got to have the right actor for the right part, and some like William Shatner wasn't exactly a big movie star, but nobody owned James T. Kirk like he did. And the same with Nimoy and Spock. No. Christopher Reeve, he had a modest career in a lot of respects, except he was Superman. Now, Robert Downey Jr. not only owns Iron Man, but he's been in a lot of good stuff, and he's good in most anything he does. He's had a pretty long career. So, I'm torn in trying to figure out, who's, when you say top movie star, it's like, well, to me, it's all about the movie and the character. And I mean, my two favorite characters are Indiana Jones and Han Solo. So would I put Harrison Ford at the top of the list? Certainly, he had the career to back it up in a lot of other ways too. But you could say Tom Cruise did a ton of stuff, but he plays pretty much Tom Cruise in everything he does.
Yeah, he's not phoning it in.
No, he's never phoning it in, but he doesn't have a lot of range.
I don't know.
He tries to.
He gets enough credit.
Don't get me wrong. I don't think he's crap or anything, but
right.
Like a guy who melts into just about every role I've ever seen him in, to the point that I sometimes wonder how that could be the same guy as Gary Oldman.
Oh my goodness! Yes.
I mean, that's a guy who melts into a part.
That guy is a chameleon.
Yeah.
It's unnatural what he can do.
Yeah. And Daniel Day-Lewis is kind of on that. So, we're talking about movie stars or fantastic actors. Like
I think this is just sort of movie stars.
Yeah. Meryl Streep is
That's the way it was presented.
To me.
Yeah.
I mean, she's Meryl Streep, so she gets all but I don't think she's fine. But I mean, I've seen other actresses do a much better job in several different, like Amy Adams, I think. And I just talked about Hillbilly Elegy. I mean, Glenn Close, boy, talk about melding into a part. I never would have recognized her. Charlize Theron is another one who can really put herself into a part and disappear. Yeah. So I feel like movie stars like Harrison Ford, well, he surprised me when he played Branch Rickey in 42. That I barely recognized him.
Yeah, he does not. That's Harrison Ford as Branch Rickey.
That was great. But beyond
it's Branch Rickey. It's not Harrison Ford as Branch Rickey.
But name me another part where he wasn't pretty much Harrison Ford. Right? Yeah. So can he stretch himself? Yeah, maybe he can. Has he in a lot of ways? Have I enjoyed most everything he's done? Yeah. Well, at least earlier stuff. I think he got pretty cranky later on. Post Air Force One, it started.
It was about paychecks.
Yeah.
You need to fund that flying obsession.
And Bruce Willis is another one kind of like that. I mean, I think he had an early career that really showed a lot of promise in a lot of different things, up to about Sixth Sense, maybe Unbreakable. And then he became,
I don't know,
grumpy Bruce Willis,
Yeah. Yeah, but I think you look at a movie like, especially Sixth Sense, and you take what came before it, and you're like, this guy actually can. I think he's a decent performer.
Yeah, so if you're talking about
But I don't know if
stars,
I
then
would
you're
put him
talking
on
about.
the list or anything.
I mean, if we're talking about stars, I guess Sam Jackson probably made the most money of
Yeah.
all the stars because he was in so many blockbusters, the Jurassic
Well, you talk
Park and the
about
Star
maybe a guy who's
Wars.
always playing the same guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's done some really good stuff. Don't get me wrong,
Oh yeah, he's good.
but he's probably stretches more than any of the other guys I've talked about. So I don't know. I mean, it's hard for me to pick stars unless you just want to go by success, general success. Then you can go, okay, well, then it's pretty easy. I'll just go box office and giant franchises. And then you put Sam Jackson, Harrison Ford at the top, and
Notoriety.
throw Robert Downey Jr. in there now, and then you can kind of work your way down from there. The Stallones, the Schwarzeneggers, things like that. And they're all likable in their own ways. Don't get me wrong, but to me, it's all about the story and the acting as well. And when you build something around a guy for his strengths and weaknesses, you know what it's like to me? It's like when they have a quarterback that has a lot of weaknesses, so they design the team around him.
Yeah.
Or when you have Patrick Mahomes, who can pretty much put the team on his back, it doesn't matter who you have out there. Right? Gary Oldman is a Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, easily.
Yeah. Arnold Schwarzenegger is a guy you got to design the movie around.
Gary Oldman was Lee Harvey Oswald, and he looked exactly like Lee Harvey Oswald.
Yeah. Well, I look
It's
at him.
unusual.
I look at him. I see him in Air Force One, playing this Russian guy, looking one way.
Yeah.
And then I see him in the same year he's doing The Fifth Element, and he looks and sounds so incredibly different, to the point that I
And then
can't even tell it's the same guy.
And he's Gordon. He's Lieutenant Gordon and Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah.
And then again, he's a completely different.
Yeah. It's
incredible.
He can put on whatever accent you want. He does everything great. If you're as far as a pure consummate actor, I don't know that I put anybody above Gary Oldman for me.
You'd have to go way back, and then you're going to get into those Marlon Brandos.
Brando, I think was more about. I don't know. I think it was more about personality and coasting off of his original fame.
And maybe John Lemon. Oh my God!
See, Bald Owl says, movie stars. Who wants Gary Oldman to show up at their party? I would. I'd pick his brain. I'd pick the shit out of his brain.
He's perfectly good. Why the hell not? You want to sit there and talk to me? Probably do 500 different accents within the span of 2 or 3 sentences.
Yeah.
It'd be Lee Harvey Oswald, then some British guy, and then he's back to being Texan, then he's a crazy drug. He did a Jamaican accent at some point.
It's like, he could do anything, man.
And then he's a spy to cap it all off, and he doesn't say a word.
So I guess I got to put this. I guess I got to do my list about stars and not actors. But maybe that's a different list we should consider, because I feel like talented actors. Daniel Day-Lewis, that's another excellent actor.
Yeah,
and he has starred in movies, but is he a bankable star? I don't know. I think everybody ought to watch. Well, one, Tom Hardy is pretty good as an actor, and he could be a big star. We'll see. I mean, he's obviously well known, but I mean, movie star. He could be both. Pattinson's one I want to keep an eye on. I'm not. The jury's still out on him. He's done a lot of interesting things to get away from that whole Twilight stuff.
Well, he went and did a Cronenberg film, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's done a lot of.
I'll give you that.
He was the best thing in Tenet. I'll tell you that.
Was he really?
He was definitely the best thing in Tenet. So I feel like there's a guy that is the right part away from really breaking through, like to that
Right.
next level. I think he's got the talent, and I can see why people don't like him. And I'm not. I haven't seen anything. You know, some of the choices he made early on that got him out there. You know, the early Harry Potter, the Twilight. I get it, or people, but I feel like that's the movies. That's not him. Yeah,
Right.
leave him alone. It's like shitting on Hayden Christensen for the prequels. I feel like that guy got a raw deal. So
Yeah, but I didn't see anything from him afterwards. Where I was like, all right, whatever.
well, not enough, but I think part of it was because he just didn't do very well in the prequels, and nobody wanted to give him enough of a chance. I think he's been in a few things, but yeah, I know he can.
None of
act.
which I can remember.
No, I think he did one where he played a newspaper guy that was plagiarizing things or something. It was a true story, and he played that guy. I think he was in Was he in Cider House Rules or something like that?
He was in a movie with Nicolas Cage in an IRS production.
Yeah. So I
The
mean,
joke is he owes money to the IRS. You
Oh,
guys
yeah,
can
no
laugh whenever
kidding.
You're ready.
yeah, no kidding. He was in that Jumper movie, which was pretty bad, but he wasn't bad in it. So if you give him the right, it's just George Lucas is just not a very good director.
Oh, he's really not.
So, Bourgeois says Lighthouse was sound and fury signifying nothing. You know, a critical drinker just talked about Lighthouse, and I've seen stuff on it. It sounds like a lot of. It sounds like a movie that is really all about atmosphere than it is about plot, and so you got to be kind of. I always got to be in the kind of mood for one of those, and
I think it's on Netflix, and I'm looking to watch it before I ditch it.
yeah, I need to give it a try because I at least appreciate that it's trying to do something different.
Yeah, I like that. I can appreciate the attempt. Whether or not it works, you might not land it. Might not be a home run, but at least you swung for it.
Yep. And you got Defoe and Pattinson chewing it up. I won't say chewing it up, but doing a really good job from what I hear.
I don't think William Dafoe doesn't chew it up no matter what he's doing.
He's something. That guy
I
gets.
think he's out there.
Yeah, there's a guy that gets weirder and weirder looking as he ages.
Yeah. And on that bombshell.
Yeah, it's just growing into the crazy. It's kind of nice. All right, so we went a full hour and a half, which is much longer than I expected, but I had a great time, and
We did it live.
We did it live. Thank you all for watching. We've had 8 concurrent viewers, 30 playbacks so far, so we've had some people. We had a lot of chats. Bald Owl and Bourgeois were the only two that continued gabbing it up. I think the rest of them just fell face down on their keyboards listening to us.
Yeah. Passed out on Adderall.
I don't blame them. I mean,
Hey, listen, the check's in the mail, you guys. You'll be getting it. Don't worry about it. I shouldn't have said.
Remember, we need you guys. Help us out. Share these videos out wherever you can. Like, share, and subscribe if you haven't. Comment below, or you could go to
Smash
Last
that
Movie.
like button.
Yep, smash it. And if you don't like us, smash it. Smash the dislike button twice.
The algorithm doesn't care.
That's right. And, of course, you can always come by and chat with us at lastmovieoutpost.com. Leave a comment in any one of the articles. We'll probably answer, or at the very least, give you a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And certainly read as many of the comments as I can, at least on almost all the articles, especially mine. And and of course you can email us, contact us at lastmovieoutpost.com. Remember, get your top 15 in. And you will find Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. All those links are right there on the front page.
And be sure to check out our cam views.
Our OnlyFans.
The OnlyFans.
Dom's got an OnlyFans, so there we go. Oh, Tau Pilot says, "God dang it! I just got here, and you guys are going." Well,
later, loser.
Sorry, man. I'm out of liquor, or well, I got a little bit, but this is all for me. Rum. So, anything else, Dom?
That's it.
All right. Y'all take care. Thank you very much, Outposters. And don't forget, we do have a podcast, and we'll be putting the audio up there as well. And we'll see you on the next stream.